In the headlines, the minimum wage to be increased in June. A technology hub set up in St. James North. And in sports, Barbados women lose their opening match of CWI T20 Blaze.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good night and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We start with some good news tonight for minimum wage workers. Come June 1st, the national minimum wage will be increased. The announcement was made by Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, Colin Jordan, at the Barbados Workers Union May Day celebrations at Poolwoods in St. John. He says this will allow citizens to keep pace with rising prices.
So that those at the very bottom, those who work hard but are at the bottom of the earning level, will have an opportunity to have their wages raised to a level that allows them to keep pace with rising prices. And so the order that the draft order that you've seen publicized will indicate to you that minimum wage will move from $8.50 to $10.50. A significant increase in the national minimum wage, and the sectoral rate for security officers will also increase by a similar percentage.
Minister Jordan says government is working with trade unions to ensure that work in Barbados is recognized as something of value.
That workers are recognized as human beings first and as valuable in the process of building Barbados. We intend to make sure that all the tools that are necessary to allow you to produce at your maximum, all of the protections that allow you to produce at your maximum are in place. Because we believe that protection and production must go together. There will be no production if there's no protection.
Meanwhile, issues have arisen again despite a recent landmark agreement for KFC workers that was expected to significantly improve wages, working conditions and job security. General Secretary Tony Moore raised her concerns during the BWU's May Day celebrations at Poolwoods in St. John today. Ms. Moore accused KFC of undermining the agreement.
Less than 4 weeks after we had those wins, the first thing KFC did was pull away the monthly meal allowance from the workers. I see some KFC workers up front. A monthly meal allowance would allow them to buy a thrift box or a bucket or a barrel for 50% of the cost. KFC pull on that. We don't keep any noise about it because although it is in the collective agreement and although therefore it represented a breach, we determined that until the Ministry of Labour, through its health and safety arm, could convince us that the conditions at KFC were safe for us to eat from anyway, that we were not going to make noise over food.
The General Secretary is also raising concerns that KFC's management has stopped uncertified sick days for workers.
In the collective agreement, it says that workers are entitled to 6 days pay on certified leave. KFC pulled on that. That is when we decided we can't end about looking licorice over food now. It's serious because these are fundamental provisions. So on the 7th of April, the Barbados Workers Union wrote to the company indicating that it was in breach and asking it to correct the breach, and it was copied to the Labour Department.
Well, Hillcrest Community Centre in St. Joseph came alive for the last time in April as organizers of the St. Joseph We Gathering Committee passed the baton to St. John. And they're urging all Barbadians to not let this initiative be in vain, but rather to capitalize on the year-long initiative to keep community spirit going across the island. Rachel Agard has that story.
St. Joseph successfully hosted 21 events without incident as Barbados went on an adventure in the scenic parish. And as they passed the baton following their leg of We Gathering 2025, Attorney General and Member of Parliament Dale Marshall challenged St. John to follow suit. He says teamwork is the essence to ensuring each parish delivers a month of activities that will remain etched on the minds of those who come along home.
The one thing that I want to say, Charles, is if your team works half as well as ours, St. John's Community Month is going to be a great success. This was a team that was in many respects new. Some of us, though, were here from 2020. I had to put all of our regathering plans aside. I remember we were getting ready for regathering 2020 April, and we had to shut down the country in March. So perhaps we've had the benefit of storing up all of our energy, all of our passion, all of our interests, all of our zeal for the last 5 years. And now it has washed over St. Joseph, and I'm sure that some of it will wash over into St. John.
Each parish thus far has highlighted an element unique to them. Minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, gave kudos to St. Joseph for their pollination program.
It was fantastic. New, again, didn't think about it, but the long-term contribution and impact, was really fundamental. And it is these things that are important, that are the key moments about why we are doing regathering. And St. John, that is because your theme is community. And that really and truly is really the frame, again, for regathering. The sense of community that we are building parish by parish by parish. That is the fundamental reason behind this.
Chairman of the St. Joseph Regathering Committee, Matthew Hinkson, says they have touched the lives of those within that community and the wider Barbadian society.
We have renewed the passion of our footballers. We have shown love to Mother Nature. We have shown love to some of the things our parish is known for, such as surfing, hiking, and cultural expression. All of this was done in an effort to puzzle the pieces of things we all know and love, but couldn't appreciate for quite some time.
St. John begins their leg of the We Gathering initiative beginning today with the May Day celebrations at Poolwoods in that parish. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Looks like a great time was had by all. Well, coming up, we'll hear about plans for St. James North from both candidates canvassing the constituency. Young people were the focus of the candidates on the campaign trail in St. James North today. Barbados Labour Party candidate and Minister of Educational Transformation, Senator Chad Blackman, before venturing into the hustings, was at the opening of the St. James North Tech Club. Opposition Democratic Labour Party's candidate Felicia Dujon says she has a program for the young men in the constituency. Trevor Thorpe caught up with the candidates in Trent St. James, and he files this report.
The future of the labour market is technology, and the key is to catch them young. That was the message from the Barbados Labour Party's candidate for St. James North, Senator Chad Blackman, as he delivered remarks at the opening of the St. James North Tech Club at the Gordon Greenwich Primary School before going on the campaign trail. And with the support of his cabinet colleagues led by Deputy Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw and Ministers Kerry Simmons, Wilfred Abrams and Lisa Cummins, he said Barbados could be the Silicon Valley of the Caribbean.
My campaign is simply this. creating opportunities for our people. And this, of course, is part of that strategy, and it's part of the Labour Party strategy and philosophy that we have to create a better life for our people.
The Tech Club is a long-term investment in the youth of St. James and could also become the tech hub of Barbados.
Every month, our children will meet across the constituency looking at areas of robotics, coding, artificial intelligence, and weaving that into their day-to-day lives and helping them to understand how do we move forward. Barbados will be competitive if we can start our kids at an early age, but also not just in the clubs, but of course in the schools already we're working with robotics and coding, and part of the transformation of curriculum has to also ensure that at the secondary level and post-secondary level, our people can now create modes of technology that can help.
Meanwhile, at Trent, the Democratic Labour Party's candidate, Felicia Dojon, revealed she has a plan for the constituency if successful later this month. She had the support of opposition leader Ralph Thorne and other party colleagues.
My first call of duty is to go through the constituencies and make sure that the debushing is done, to implement some programs for the young men. They need that. I believe that we also have to look at the community centre that has been closed for many years in Western. These are matters that concerns people. We cannot have an area where people cannot get to develop themselves, to empower themselves.
Mr. Jones said the constituency had been neglected for 15 years and she's gathering support to correct the ills of the past.
The government in itself, the Barbados Labour Party, they should have done better for the people, the constituents on St. James North. They should have done better. And I think because of that, when I come to the constituency now, they were saying, well, all politicians are the same. But I have not been the same politician in the last 15 years. So I'm coming to present myself and to gather the support that is needed to raise the voices in Parliament.
The two candidates will face each other in a by-election on May 21st after nomination day next Tuesday. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
And that's Newsnight. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.